up, people?
Hello, squishies.
Is this working? Is this gonna work?
Hello, minasan.
Hello, everybody. Kaitou, do you want to introduce yourself? Say hi to the people.
Yeah, sure thing. So everyone, I am Kaitou Luminous, the first mod of the Mama Drawk and Drawk show. I was actually the person who suggested they get mods because I've been around this community a long time and I've seen how vicious people can be when trying to spoil.
That is true.
So,
some people are wild. There
I
was
call
a person...
Kaitou Kaitou because, so if you're wondering, who the heck is this Kaitou person? That's a person I call Kaitou.
Yeah, that is the person you have said the name of incredibly correctly many times.
Since the very beginning, because Kaitou's been with us since like 4 seconds in. Like,
Stream.
yeah, it was the second stream, and they were like, dude, you need to have somebody helping you out. And we were like, what?
Yeah, I was already a mod for a One Piece reactor, Mosey Reacts, and I, trust me, have seen some pretty bad spoilers. I have seen someone come into the chat with just the username Ace Dice, then proceeded to talk about nothing else during Any's lobby.
What a great bet.
Oh my god. That's, wow, that's a thing.
He got banned
Thank you
right
for the
away.
subscription, oh Moral.
Thank you for
For
subscribing.
anyone who is unaware, Kaitou is Phantom Thief in Japanese, which is a type of anime character for thieves who send advance notice for when they're going to steal, making it a fair challenge between the owner of whatever they're stealing and the thief themselves.
Oh, wow.
I like to call myself the Phantom Thief of Spoilers because I like to steal the spoilers before they can be received by
Aw, I didn't know that. That's a cute name, Origin.
Adorable. Now I feel bad about calling you Kaitou for years.
It's cool. I actually came up with the OC many, many years ago before I became a mod, but I made it work.
But Kaitou is so deliciously adorable.
Thank you for following Jay Somerville. Jay Somerville.
Jay Somerville.
So today, going to be casual. Kaitou is going to share her theory about Nola. And we are going to... I want to try to fit things together because we've been talking for a bit about instruments, songs, ancient weapons, and it feels like everything is coming together in the manga right now. And I feel like if we work hard, we can figure out some of it before it happens. But I don't currently know any of it.
Before we do that, can I talk about how you made my eyes so crazy?
Yeah, this is the angry face. You get multiple faces. Don't worry about it.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, this is just the mad one.
Oh my god, I'm here for this. But it won't know when I'm mad.
Well, you know, you'll have to press buttons to switch it between different emotions.
Yeah, because it's not like it's Santa Claus. It doesn't know when I'm sleeping. It doesn't know when I've been good or bad.
Hey, this ties into something great. You know that thing that happens where there's the joke of singing a song, but you replace most of the lyrics with a word or line from the song?
Yes.
My brain has fucked with that song lately, and do you want me to sing the beautiful version my brain came up with without any input from me?
I think I speak for both of us when I say hells yeah.
Okay, you ready? I'm gonna sing this beautiful song that I have. The eyebrows need to be separate, don't they? The eyebrows do need to be separate. I'm gonna need to figure that out. Okay, don't worry about it. PNG tubers are hard, y'all. You're gonna be here as I rig this while we're talking theories. All right, this is my beautiful song. He sleeps you when you're sleeping. He sleeps when you're asleep. He sleeps if you've been sleep or sleep. So be sleep for sleepness sleep. Oh, you better watch out. 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 He sleeps you when you're sleeping.
What?
That is so weird, but fun.
I have no words for what I just heard. That's... Oh my lord.
So that's what my brain came up with without my input.
You know what? I can't believe how fortunate that we all are that we got to be here for this absolute bop.
Mm-hmm.
Burst said they cried. I cried too. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Oh my god, weirdo.
So it's like replacing every word with Smurf. Yeah. So that's what my brain did when I was driving the other day late at night. I've been tired lately, and I think you can tell that in the quality of that song. No,
the quality of that song was a really awake
so
person.
Hard to get up for stream tonight. Get ready for getting ready for stream isn't hard for me. There's not that much involved. And it was exhausting. It was impossible. I couldn't get up. I'm falling apart, y'all. The tired is getting me.
It's the season.
It is the season of the sleepy times.
And I'm not even American, so I don't even have to deal with Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving way too close to Christmas.
It's so hard to say who has Thanksgiving better. Hear me out on why, right?
All right. No, it's us.
No. It's not so simple, because here's the thing, right? You can say, oh yeah, it's Canadian. Oh, sure. But here's the thing. While American Thanksgiving celebrates a thing that is more complicated and bad than a lot of people pretend it is, at least it celebrates something. And Canadian Thanksgiving literally just exists because you guys had one, and that is embarrassing. Now, we did, because it wasn't based on anything, we did have the ability to put it where we wanted, so it's in a way better place. October could use a good holiday, and then you don't have Thanksgiving, and then immediately the fuck after...
is Halloween not a good holiday?
Christmas. But it's not a time to get family together.
Don't. Listen,
first of all, for Halloween, you know.
First of all,
first mod.
Kaito is our original mod, from show 2. First of all, American Thanksgiving has switched, and at one time there were 2 American Thanksgivings because people refused to give up on one of them. It was the 4th Thursday, and then they made it the 3rd Thursday, hoping that it would increase the amount of shopping. Well, Macy did. And then eventually the president had to be like, yeah, that went badly. And then he switched it back, and people were like, because they tried for 3 years, they tried to get people to switch over to the 3rd Thursday. And for 3 years, they had a kerfuffle, and apparently people kept taking all the time off. So they had all the time off for 2 weeks in a row.
I'm going to make a change to this that I'm going to fucking hate, y'all.
Is it my eyes?
Hello.
And also, let me tell you one more little thing.
What?
Ours is based off the same shit. Indigenous people helped Canadian humans who came over here to.
We didn't celebrate it right away. So no. I don't think it counts if you retroactively say, oh yeah, ours too, because the Americans carried it forward for a long time, and then we went, oh, we want one, and then we're also celebrating that. It was retroactive. It is.
That's how the whole world is done.
Okay, that's how the whole world is done. But I'm just gonna say, Canada. I love our country, but you have to admit that in a lot of ways, our country has what you could call an inferiority complex with the U.S., and I think that is the only reason we have a Thanksgiving.
I'm going to tell you a secret.
Canada is also better than the U.S. You guys don't have Trump.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, but we're
trying to get
our most elected prime minister sold Canadian land rights to a Chinese businessman in a Russian motel room. We're not.
Not to mention, a bunch of our crappy Canadians are going to try to bring in Pierre PP Dum Dum Face. His name is Pierre Poilievre. That's why I call him.
I need to be so real. That man's politics are terrible, but I think it genuinely says something about how low our standards of politicians as a country has been, that he is the best orator who's been running for prime minister in decades. Since Trudeau Senior. Since Trudeau Senior, he's the best orator who's run for prime minister.
I don't even care. I hate him.
What is the paper towel of charisma, and he is our most elected politician.
Did you hear who he called himself? He's like, I'm not Trump. If anything, I'm JD Vance. And I was like, and then did you hear
that's not a mark of pride? Don't say that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. And then
genuinely, at least Trump is a good speaker. He's funny. Why would you want to be Vance? That's
don't say this. Don't say Trump is a good speaker. Anyways,
compared to Vance, Trump is. Trump knows how to bring in a crowd. Who goes to see Vance?
Jon Stewart was sitting there in a show and he said that, and then Jon Stewart just sat there looking at it, trying to think of something to say, and what he said was "fuck off." That's the right call.
Trump gets people to care about him. People show up to his rallies. No one shows up to a Vance rally. It's just the difference between competent evil, not competent governance, but competent as a speaker, which is what Trump cares about, and incompetent evil. That's not better to be the incompetent evil. That's worse.
What does this say? And what is dimension piece? Where's dimension piece? How does KR KRLY? How do you say it? How do you think you say it?
Dude, what?
Kaitou, how do you say it? KRLY.
Krill? Oh, Carly.
Carly, are you new here? I'm asking genuinely. I'm excited about it. But are you new here? Because they're like, what is dimension piece? And I'm like, wait a minute. Do we have a new human in the midst?
We may have a new human. The Newman, if you will.
I do feel like I should specify the theory is a little bit less about Nola and more about his grandfather, who Nolan killed.
I feel like people know little enough about Nola's grandfather that it is.
Did you see what regular asked?
Say Nola, because that's the entry point to Nola's grandfather.
Cool. Carly is new. Carly, when did you get here?
Oh, that's crazy. New people, awesome.
I knew it. It's a whole new person. When did you? Is this your first time in stream? And have you only recently caught up? That's so cool. This is an extra day, Carly. We don't usually do Saturdays together like this.
Saturday's usually a solo stream with me.
Yeah, but this one is all special. All right, let's get ready to rumble. I was with the twins last night. I don't know if you know this. They're not very big. They're
the baby grandchildren.
The baby grandchildren. They're tiny humans.
No, they're quite small, actually.
Yeah, they're very small, and yet they're capable of pulling out all of your power and reducing you to exhaustion. So that's where we're at now.
You should get that looked at.
Reduced to exhaustion. If you go in and you say to a doctor, yeah, I've been reduced to exhaustion. I was hanging out with baby twins, and the doctor would be like, I think I found the point. We're good. Go. Get out. That's how that would go. But I also want to say, I'm not like you. I went to Costco today, and so I'm brave. Costco.
Yeah, that does actually make you better than everyone else, it turns out. Kaitou, we didn't go to Costco, so we don't get to be part of the cool brave club. Unless you went to Costco, then I guess you do.
No, I did not. I chose to be a bit of a hermit today because I just had to work the past Thanksgiving week. So
Thanksgiving in the United States.
I do always get the day before Thanksgiving off work, which is the absolute worst day.
Yes. Oh, Carly!
Look at that. Just tell them I'm willing to work the day Thanksgiving if I get the day before off, so I can actually get my cooking done.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, Carly was here for a critter stream. Yeah, we were debating a couple of terms for a cool thing for my critter game, and I think I'm going with Criterion for it, but we might go with Paragon. Those are the two front runners for sure, though.
That's pretty exciting.
Now, Carly, I forgot. I'm terrible with names, but now that I've seen you twice, there's a chance I'll remember.
For you, Drawk. Way to have reasonable expectations. All right, let's start theory crafting. For those who don't know, like Carly. Carly, wait, I wonder if Carly and others know about One Piece or not. If they came here for your
One Piece, today is a One Piece theory jam.
You know what? Still gonna be fun. You're gonna enjoy it. Why? Because Drawk and I are so hinged.
Oh, Sam Fisher, I'm sorry, it cut out. It was a good one. It was a good critter stream.
We are so hinged. We're new poll has begun. Hinged.
That's what everybody says about you.
I do. Everybody, there's a new poll, and it's, do you know One Piece? Hey, we have a no. We have one no. That's amazing.
Have you met One Piece?
I can't even believe that we're reading Berserk, because everyone just keeps talking Berserk about how,
for sure.
Yeah, I haven't read shit, but everyone keeps talking about how it's just pain.
Everybody's talking about that, but people love to meme.
Fine, let's do this thing. Let's start with Kaitou the Kaitou.
Okay. I did write down the theory last night, so is it okay if I just start by reading it out?
Go for it.
Yes, give her.
Okay, so I
believe... wait. Just be regular for us to jump in and ask questions and annoy you, because I don't know if you've noticed, we're annoying. That's what we do.
Okay, so my cat's here. Anyway, I believe like Zunisha and the Iron Giant, Nola's grandfather was a companion of Joy Boy who was entrusted to guard the poneglyph in Shandora.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm
I can
100%
see
already
this,
in.
especially because we see the first road poneglyph being entrusted to Zunisha, who we.
And then they kill him! And then they kill the dang snake!
Well, if you take a look at the size of modern day Nola and compare him to his grandfather 400 years ago, during the flashback, they are approximately the same size, meaning his grandfather was at around 400 years old then, making him alive during the tail end of the Void Century. As for why I think he has a connection to Joy Boy, there are a few reasons. The first is Kalgara's daughter says the day before she's to be sacrificed, why are you crying, Mama? I'm going to meet the sun god. This, along with the shaman of the village earlier in the chapter mentioning they pay tribute to the gods through the great Kashigami, indicates the village believed or knew Grandpa Kashigami himself is a direct connection to the sun god, aka Joy Boy. Now, this makes sense if you remember that during the flashback, it had been 400 years since the kingdom fell alongside Joy Boy. The ancient Shantians must have known back then Grandpa Kashigami had a direct connection to the sun god, which is why over the years, they grew to worship him alongside their other gods, making sense the fact his name translates to Oak God. During 400 years.
You need to put all of this in like the Discord because this shit is well laid out.
I wrote it all down last night. I will gladly put it in the Discord later.
All right, continue kicking ass. Carry on.
Okay, let me find.
Carry on my wayward
During
Kaitou.
400-year gap, his connection to Joy Boy was changed / somewhat forgotten over the years as his legend was only passed down through word of mouth. Much like how in real life, real myths and urban legends come to be through details being changed over generations of a story being told. So naturally, they wouldn't have all the details. Another reason why I think he has a connection to Joy Boy is the fact that that snake species is found literally nowhere else in the world, not even Elbaf. Where do they come from? How big do they really get? What is their lifespan? After all, both Nola and his grandpa have lived to be about 400 years old and are still quite spry. So it would make sense that Joy Boy, as the first pirate, could have found these snakes somewhere in the world. Or maybe they were even native to the ancient kingdom. As for why Grandpa Kashigami was entrusted to guard the Shantian poneglyph, it's simple. Not only does that poneglyph lead to the ancient weapon Poseidon, but it leads to the ancient mermaid princess, Joy Boy's friend. Joy Boy wanted Kashigami to protect his friend, which makes sense. Those snakes are flippin' tough. Even modern day Nola couldn't get scratched by Wiper or Zoro's efforts. I also realized something very interesting recently. Ancient Jaya, Alabaster, Fishman Island, Zo, and Wano are all islands we know a poneglyph was placed / relatively unmoved. After all, the one on Jaya kind of moved a little thanks to the knock-up stream. And there's something ancient Jaya has that, well, ancient Jaya is missing, the other islands have. A direct connection to the ancient kingdom or Joy Boy. Alabaster is the home of Nefertari the Lily, who was seemingly responsible for the stones getting scattered all over the world. Fishman Island was the home of Joy Boy's friend, the ancient mermaid princess, aka the ancient weapon. Plus, this is where the promise boat Noah and the apology letter poneglyph was left. Zo, aka Zunisha, was a confirmed friend of Joy Boy's. Wano is not only the island hosting another ancient weapon, but is where the stones were first created in the first place. But what's ancient Jaya's connection to Joy Boy? It's missing. Sure, they originally fell in a massive battle to protect the bell and have sworn to, quote, hold your truth in your heart, keep your mouth shut. We are the ones who weave history with the reverberations of the ancient bell, which does signify greater importance to the bell, which we will talk about, Mama.
Yeah, I hope so.
Then,
Yeah.
just letting their ancestors know they are there and housing the bell, but it doesn't really give us a link to Joy Boy. There's also the fact that when Muse is getting sacrificed in the flashbacks, the Shandians alongside the sun god mentioned the god of the rain, the god of the forest, the god of the earth, who could have been three other mythical zone users who fought alongside Joy Boy. But the four gods mentioned in the sacrifice, it was always the sun god referred to first, or just him exclusively, implying the sun god was the leader or the captain of the three other gods. Which is why I believe ancient Jaya's mixing connection to the ancient kingdom and Joy Boy is Nola's grandpa, Kashigami. That's the theory.
That was like a master class in snake lore.
No, there's a lot here.
Holy shit.
It makes me think about some other things that I can. It got some other threads connecting that I want to talk about later when we talk about the most recent chapter. By the way, check TCB scans for 1132. Is that what just came out? Because I want to talk a bit about it tonight.
Yeah, 1132.
Yeah, look at your scans, people.
Look at the scanties. Not yet. We're not getting into that yet. That's later.
You'll find them on TCB.
Don't want to chase off the non-scan people this
early. Non-scanties. Okay, go on.
That's for later. I'm just like, I have said for a long time that I think we can track a lot of the of this by looking at what I call Joy Boy's crew, because being the first pirate, I think it's his crew. I think Joy Boy's pirates are where we're going to see the connections, all the allied kingdoms, all of the peoples he had a crewmate from, or all of his crew being left and being an important part of a kingdom. And this ties in so well with that.
Yeah, one thing I like about it is there's not really any loose ends to argue against.
No, like, I also just like something that feels, anything that feels like there's no friction points, that it fits in very cleanly and doesn't require information that we already have to be re-explained, I think immediately carries a lot more water to me. And like,
agreed.
All of this feels like there's no extra assumptions you have to make. There's no extra information you really need to add. This just does fit with all of what we have right now. The idea that, like, of course, yeah, Nola being connected to the sun god and just tying the sun god in with everything else. The only part that I'm not like immediately like, oh yeah, that's totally probably a thing, is that the other gods come from Joy Boy's crew, because that might be the case, but it might not. Like, it doesn't feel definite, but I feel like the idea that their sun god is Joy Boy makes a lot of sense, especially because I've been thinking for a long time that the Elbaf war god is also Nika. That was the thing I was talking about a while ago, and we're now seeing that might be true, but it might be that their sun god is and the war god is something else. We're kind of finding out right now whether or not that's true.
Yeah, I just thought it was really interesting last month when I was thinking about the theory, and I was like, wait, we know a bunch of islands where poneglyphs were placed / never really moved, and they all have a connection to the ancient kingdom. But where was ancient Jaya's connection?
Yeah, that's a really good point. There's no like clear-cut connection to Jaya, whereas like we can see what it would be for everywhere else. We know what it is for Zoe, etc.
Yeah, and I didn't want to make any assumption about.
No, wait, stop. I was gleeking out and thinking about something else, like literally connecting a whole bunch of other crap. So say that again.
Which part?
I don't know. You said something and
Oh, I was just saying I didn't include Whole Cake Island in that guess because we have no clue if the poneglyphs were there originally or sure he took them, and I couldn't really include Elbaf since there's no poneglyph there yet.
Yeah, I feel like Elbaf probably has a poneglyph. Like, it just feels like it has to at this point, because like,
if they don't, I'd be surprised.
Yeah,
it kind of brings back that egg question too. Like, if we're talking about a dude sailing around on a boat with a weird ass egg.
Oh my god, back to the egg.
Could it be a snake egg?
Not everything needs to be an egg, but oh my god, but it could be a snake egg.
But it could be a snake egg.
It could be a snake egg, but not everything needs to be but the egg. Also, snake eggs don't look like that. They're soft and kind of marshmallow shaped.
No one asked you to think about what snake eggs look like. You know
Also,
what else there isn't is knock-up streams in the real world. So I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah, I also just find it weird that all three of the snakes, Nola, his grandpa, and his dad, have been male, yet we've never seen a female.
Yeah, 100%. That is weird.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm loving this theory. I need you to put it out so I can look at it because I'm super visual and I need to like
I
rip
sent
it
it to
apart.
you. I sent it to Drawk earlier, so I just have it
Yeah,
on.
I skimmed it and looked at how it was formatted, but I didn't piece it together as well as you saying it. I meant to read it earlier. I've been so fucking tired. God, I really like thinking about this. It just feels like it fits in too naturally. Like this one to me, there's not that many theories that I hear and I'm like, oh yeah, this just feels like it just is true. Like it doesn't feel
You don't
like
have
a theory.
to
It
pull
feels like it
anything
just
apart.
explains
You don't
things.
have to fuck up the entire plot. It's already there and it seamlessly slides in. Like it's actually genius.
Thank you. I've been thinking about it for a long time.
It also explains another level of why Nola is so important to you, amongst the other ones that you talked about before, which were beautiful and then made me cry about the snake even more. But I also like the idea because, like, if we're talking about the Great Bell War and how Jaya was torn asunder and we put the knot, and I think it was there on purpose, blah, blah, blah. But the way that Nola works with the bell and how it called to something ancestral within inside them really supports your theory as well. Like the second the bell went off, their connection to that bell was immediate and they were like drawn to it, calmed by it.
Thinking the bell could have sort of a snake charmers effect, like you would see in those Indian films.
Yeah. Like it is the thing that keeps those snakes attached to that lore if they were guardians. And then it's the preservation of all the ancient weapons and the ability to call them forth guarded by a giant snake. Like it makes so much damn sense. It's ridiculous.
To mention this isn't just any ancient weapon. It's the mermaid princess.
Yeah, exactly. Damn. Kaitou. I'm loving this.
Something that this just made me think of that not directly related to this, but related to the arc, related to Skypiea. I just got thinking about how many mythologies involve a snake that eats the sun. And Luffy the sun god being swallowed by Nola in that arc just becomes kind of interesting when you think about that.
You are not wrong. That's gorgeous.
That's something I've never thought about.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's a common thing in mythology, is a snake that eats the sun.
There's a lot of snake myths. I've heard a lot of people mentioning my cat just messed with my trunk, sorry. Mentioning Nola's connection to like Jormungandr or whatever his name is from Nordic mythology. I
think something like that.
Norse mythology with Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent.
I don't think that would be the one, but who knows?
Oh, God. That starts to ask questions about if the snake is coming back too.
I feel like Skypiea is coming back.
I feel like we need to see the species again.
So something this has made me think of is that it has tied into a theory is I have a belief that all of the weird shit we see in Skypiea is genetically engineered from the Lunarians, that they were genetic masters, that everything we got in Skypiea, all the dials were genetically engineered to be technological items because the idea of these being natural feels very strange. The same way Lunarian powers seem very strange, and we see like traces of their transformation all over in all sorts of different peoples, with the red eyes, white hair happening. And one thing this got me thinking about is that the Sky Islands were definitely created by them, because while we see them talking about how volcanoes release trace amounts of this stuff, we see that Vegapunk used the ancient kingdom's technology, which was likely the Lunarians because they were the gods of the world at the time. We see Vegapunk being able to use this ancient technology to create his own Sky Islands to hold up the lava phase, which makes me feel like the Sky Islands themselves were created by the Lunarians. I don't know what this means. It's just a thing that this made me think of that has kind of started to connect more dots, that the islands themselves were probably made by their technology.
They did say they can also form naturally thanks to underwater sea volcanoes, but Lunarian, Shandians, Bricans, and Skypians also came from the moon, so.
Yeah. Because they said they can form naturally, not these are natural sky islands. What made the Lunarians? I mean, I think the Lunarians are probably the ruling class of the... My theory has been that the Lunarians were the ruling class of the Skypian, Shandians, Birkins that came from the moon. Because you'll notice when we look at the people coming from the moon, all of the ancient glyphs, there's only 3 types of people with 3 shapes of wings. People who look like king aren't on there. So my theory is they were the people, they were the ruling class, and they are called Lunarians because Lunarian basically was the name of the society, so the ruling class keep the moniker is my kind of read on it, and the ruling class genetically modified themselves to be unkillable so that they and have a limitless power supply so that they could rule as gods.
They also just left the moon first because they knew it was a dying planet.
Yeah, that's my theory as well. Yeah, they left because it's a dying planet, there was nothing there. And it's also why Eneru has these memories of the moon being land of the gods, because the people who called themselves gods in his culture, the ruling class Lunarians, were like, yeah, that is our home. We are from there.
Is that a claim then that Eneru would be a lot older than he's perceived to be?
No, I think it just got passed down weird over the generations.
But he also seemed very surprised by the people that were on it, and then had that weird battle and was surprised by the artifacts and the
I don't think he at all expected any of what he got. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's something else going on in there as well. I don't know what it is, but I like your theory.
He could have formed a fantasy in his head of what he thought the Godland was like, and he didn't expect it to live up to his expectations.
I'm honestly hoping we're going to see a bunch more.
Yeah. He probably was expecting something like Mount Olympus and instead got
a barren rock.
I think there is a bunch more though, because he makes it clear that he came from somewhere. So we're saying like he didn't come from the moon. There was too much about it that surprised him when he got to the moon.
He came from Burka for sure, because when because we know he destroyed it.
Exactly. So now I'm like, how much more is there in the sky? What do we not know about yet? And here's my question that I hope for, which I think is such a long shot, it's ridiculous. So let's just put that out there. That we're going to find through Jormungandr, the life tree, that there is an ability to get to other levels.
Is the life tree. Jormungandr.
Or sorry, Yggdrasil, not Jormungandr. That's that we're going to go through Yggdrasil, and that we're going to find that there are connections to, because it says heaven at the top. So what if heaven is more than just beyond for heaven for dead people, because there's a land of the dead beneath? And what if in this case heaven is a connection to the other worlds that are in the sky?
I mean, the tree on Elbaf definitely does reach into where the Sky Islands would be, which I feel like is how they're going to reconnect with Vivi for sure, but we'll see. It could also
But I'm also hoping it reconnects us to other places that we weren't aware of, that we might get to see some kind of more Lunarian lore, and that we might actually get to see some stuff about like where Eminem is from and that kind of shit.
I think we're going to get more NL lore when we get more stuff with Mad Monk Rouge.
I feel the same way. His wing shape is
the same wing shape as Birkin.
Yep.
And they've done nothing with him so far.
He's like the only one of the worst generation we haven't seen anything from.
Ooh, I think we're coming up to some I think it is short moments before we are into some crazy lore connecting.
Some things are going to happen for sure.
Which is why I really wanted to get my theory out before they dropped any lore dumps in Elbaf, or we got a chance.
No, you're not wrong. Same with they put the stuff out about Shanks, and the connecting, and how Shanks is their boss in that little last part. And I'm not going to talk about it too much, except for to say on a separate note, it started to make me think about what Shanks is doing around the world. Shanks moves too quick, shows up in all these places, protects those who are weaker. We already know all that shit. But he has this connection around the world in his movements that I think that he is aligning, strengthening, and creating alliances globally for that whole idea of like, this is the person that I talked to, remember Straw Hat Luffy, remember the name, It started to make me think about how he could be going around the world and actually strengthening all these connections that Luffy is going to need later on, because he is aware of what's at the end of the line and he knows what's going to happen at the end in some way.
Strengthening feels like the wrong word, because we've already seen that the big thing that makes him worse than Luffy. Yeah, the big thing that makes him worse than Luffy is that he leaves people weak and dependent on him. Like, he's okay. He's protecting these guys' freedom with his own strength.
I don't mean strengthening people. I mean strengthening for Luffy.
What you gotta, like, setting them up to like him?
Yeah, setting people up to want to help Luffy and to be part of Luffy's like larger worldwide crew, because I think that he's trying to set some shit up so that Luffy has an easier passageway, and that there are so many people that we are unaware of who Shanks has been working behind the scenes to set up to be on Luffy's side. Because here's what I was thinking about the other day around this. Sorry for popping off, but I'm just gonna pop off for a minute. And then everybody
that's the whole point of today. That's what we're doing.
Normal.
Literally, that's literally our goal.
Yeah. So, no, Carly, this is just a thinking. These are all, we do nothing but think and guess what might happen. We're not even talking.
Be back in a few minutes, because I am about to want to bring up something from the newest chapter specifically.
But you can come back on, because right now we're not even talking about the newest chapter. This is just something you're talking about.
I am about to.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So I think that if you think about the fact that he said specifically Straw Hat Luffy, then you think about the fact that Roger had the straw hat on. We have the hidden straw hat that's behind the scenes. So clearly there's something else going on with the straw hat we're not aware of yet. Some sort of power, some sort of marker, or something that's going on. And then he's been gone for all this time. We haven't seen him be a large presence. We've even seen Dragon. I mean, Dragon is just looking in a direction, but we've even seen Dragon be much more of a presence than the person that we were introduced to first in the story. Which says that if he was...
Every time Shanks does show up, he does accomplish things. He makes major changes to the story every time he shows up.
And that's his role, but he also shows up after shit has occurred, right? And everyone stopped their shit and got their act together right away at Marineford when Shanks shows up, which is like, okay, so Shanks has way more power than we're aware of and as a much stronger person. So obviously what he is doing is incredibly important. Because otherwise, I mean, why is Usopp's dad not gone back to see him? Why is he still traveling around the world? He's not collecting specific things. He's not fighting anyone. He's not trying to gain more territory. So then you have to ask yourself, what is he doing that is large enough and important enough that he is traveling all throughout the world and continuing to do this? Usopp is continuing to not be a part of his own son's life. How many others have children, including him, and yet something important is going on? So it started to make me think about, like, what would it look like if he was setting up a situation for Luffy all this time, creating kind of like an underground connected acceptance or help. There's a word I'm not getting. There's some sort of shit word I'm not getting, that was being set up all the way across. And that's going to be part of our Dimension Piece discovery, is the way in which Shanks has been using it and how Shanks has been able to move throughout the territory so that he can actually keep his finger in the pie. Because like you said earlier, Luffy leaves people stronger. We talked about this a million times. When he leaves a place, he insists on people having agency and strength so that he is not leaving a vacuum. Whereas if Shanks isn't around to help people out, there's a vacuum. So his quick movement is also necessary for him to get to places and people so that he can help to protect them. But what else is going on behind the scenes that's important work? And I think that important work is the movement towards helping Luffy's long-term cause. That's all.
Okay. I think that's not wrong. I do think the whirlpool theory, just because it's been brought up a few times, of this whirlpool that can take you anywhere in the world, being how Shanks moves so fast, it makes sense to me. It being tied into Dimension Piece, I could see. We'll see how it goes. Just the whirlpool feels like it makes easy sense. Like, man knows how to pool a whirl.
No, I don't think it's a whirlpool. Like, unless it was what, Ennie's Lobby, and everything is just like Ennie's Lobby, and it's not a hollow.
It's been said a couple times that people have talked about undersea whirlpools that will pick you up.
Yeah,
and
the
spit
movement
you
that
out
we've seen in the boat has been underneath and blah blah blah. But there's more. There's definitely more to it.
What?
Paladin
I've
wants to
always-
know if I believe in a hollow earth theory. No, but yeah. But no. But yeah.
IRL? No.
No. No, I really think that there's a way to use the dimensions. Dimension Piece is becoming ridiculous. And there's 2 other creators now who have jumped on board Dimension Piece.
True. Look, I think there's something to this. There's something to Dimension Piece. What exactly it means is difficult. Where it ends, like, okay, hear me out. It's like, do I think aliens exist? Yes. Does that mean everything we can't explain is aliens? No. I feel like, do I believe
100%.
Dimension Piece is real? Yes. Does that mean everything we don't understand right now has to be Dimension Piece? No. That's where I'm at with it. I want to
No,
find
I'm
the
telling you.
borders of what is and isn't Dimension Piece, because it's
First
not
of
going to be
all,
everything.
every single thing is aliens. And second of all, Dimension Piece rules the world.
Oh, yeah, of course. That must be.
There is one thing I've been trying to figure out with Shanks for the longest time.
Mhm.
We know he was found in a treasure chest by Roger as a baby, and we know he's basically a celestial dragon's child. How did Shanks find out he was related to celestial dragons if he was raised from infancy on Roger's ship?
Yeah, that's a worthy question to ask. Because you need to be saying, like, okay, did Shanks know? Did Shanks know where that came from? I think it would have to be something about Shanks knowing where the treasure chest came from and who they stole it from, and that it was in a place which was Celestial Dragon.
Did he pick it up after God Valley?
Pardon?
I thought he picked it up during the God Valley incident.
Yeah, he would have. But it wouldn't have been, there wouldn't have been a beautiful treasure chest full of treasures there that weren't the Celestial Dragons. Like,
True.
it wasn't a really rich, amazing area for other people. I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
distracted by
Also,
Drawk
just-
creating the world's weirdest cry mouth on my face.
Yeah.
What? This is
There's
just
also
normal
just
cry
the
mouth.
fact he could have approached Shanks after he started getting wanted posters. After all,
This
that's a
is a-
very distinctive shade of red hair.
This is a normal cry mouth.
That is not a normal cry mouth. That is the wazziest wazz. I'm so distracted by it. I don't know what it looks like. Kind of like a mountain in the middle with sad eyes. Yeah,
Does it
maybe
not
he
look-
did run into
Maybe
Garling.
Vermilion
not
saying
look-
she's not going to cry
Does it
in
not
fairy
look
tale.
sad?
No, it definitely looks sad. I'm super excited to have so much control over my face.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 3 faces to start with, because any more than that sounds hard to put together.
You made me mad so I can get mad at you, and you're making me sad so I can cry every time Oda turns somebody into a donut.
Or for Berserk.
Or, oh God, I forgot about Berserk.
Look, the next one I'll add will be Mortified for Berserk.
I'm so looking forward to this. And I have to do it in a positive, happy mood, apparently.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Look, just because we won't achieve a goal doesn't mean we shouldn't have it.
Did you say the plushie called it a wimpy Hoshi expression?
That makes sense.
Aw, I'm wimpy.
That's not
Damn
plushie.
it.
That's plusle. That's plusle.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, if anyone's interested, I did put the Nola grandpa theory on Discord if you want to go back and
Hell to the
reread it.
yeah.
That is
I just
super,
made a
super
thread
helpful.
in the One Piece channel for it. Because it's dense.
Okay, I'm trying to look at some of the things that I wanted to go through eventually. I feel
Bell
like
theory?
the bell theory.
Yeah, your ancient the bells, the musical instrument.
Oh,
That I
the
already
bells.
know,
Hey,
but-
can I just say, this is very important real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Carol the Bells is a terrifying fucking song. I don't know why we pretend it's like a happy Christmas song. And also in choir, if you're a tenor or an alto, Carol the Bells doesn't give a shit about you. That is a baritone and soprano only piece as far as the composer of Carol the Bells is concerned.
Second soprano over here.
Yep, there you go. Carol the Bells likes you. You're valid.
Yeah, my Girl Scout troop sang that at an
It's
old
about the
people's place
Armenian
once.
genocide?
What?
What? Carol of the Bells about the Armenian genocide?
That explains so much.
That explains the vibe for sure.
That's what we used in our small town we lived in before we live where we live. That's what we used for the harking of the Christmas season, that the high school students would come in singing while holding small candles.
My high school signature song for the Christmas time, we had to sing in a Russian accent.
That's a little weird and a bit racist. I'm not sure how it's racist, but it's racist.
I should.
Through the night, the wind is blowing, swatting up the falling snow, riding high above the troika, to the village we must go. Hard a coachman with the troika, hardy horses through the snow, to the winter celebration, to the village we must go. Sorry, I lost my breath a little at the end.
I probably should have been a tenor, but I was a baritone because there wasn't enough boys in the choir to have a proper tenor section, so we gave up on it.
Well, that's sad.
Okay, tell me your part about the instruments.
I was mainly bringing it up because I know you're obsessed with.
Drawk had something that he wanted to talk about the instruments.
I just want to try to puzzle this out because I agree with you that the song matters. That Bink Sake most likely is the song, it matters, and that I believe you are right that the bell has greater importance yet, and that it's connected to it's connected to Nola. Nola reacted to it, which makes sense if Nola is the connection to the sun god. What are the other instruments? What, guys, was there a drum on... Am I crazy? Was there like a drum or a gong or something on the Noah?
Hear me out on that. I started to wonder if Drum Island is actually a drum. Because where is the drum in Drum Island?
I mean, it's just
we see no drum.
The big things, you know?
The mountains are shaped like drums.
Exactly, which is dumb. Unless they actually were.
Something on it. I feel like the Noah had a thing on it, right?
Yeah.
We didn't really get to see the interior of the Noah,
no,
although
on the deck. I feel like there was a thing on the deck that we saw.
I just think that it could... One of the ideas that I have is that it could be navigational. That it's a system built by great kingdoms to guide the ancient weapons, that the sound will pop off other sounds, and that those sound waves are actually the thing that will guide the ancient weapon.
Drum Rockies. The plateaus were called the Drum Rockies. That's why Drum Island is called that.
Yeah, but I think that they could actually make sounds like drums.
For navigation makes sense. It's how Nolan found the island in the first place, through the Syrian and the storm.
So I started to wonder if the bells could be like a form of navigation, that when they're hit, the resonance of them is actually a thing that's used to show the directionality of where you're going to. I started to wonder about, what is it, kind of like a sonar or a beacon that pinpoints the ancient weapons. I also wondered if all the ancient weapons have to be above the water for the bell to activate. If the bell can be rung, but once all the ancient weapons are up, if the bell is rung, it activates all the weapons.
Not sure. If only we could get Princess Shirahoshi up to the Sky Island for vacation. We could test it.
Yeah, but it could be that we have a bunch of different musical instruments, and that the Skypea one that's now in the sky but would have been in land is directed to Uranus, which is a sky-based weapon. And so it is the activation or control for that weapon, and that there would be a place on Uranus that would be set up for the bell to be a part of, and it would become a part of the weapon itself. So you got to think about, like, is it possible in that case that each weapon has an accompanying musical instrument? Also, is there a tone, a song, or a thing? Is Bink Sake going to matter, especially after it was once again just mentioned recently? Because the very first person that Luffy wanted was somebody who is a musician, which makes you know for sure that it has to be something like that. So it started to make me wonder if each one of the ancient weapons is going to be connected to a sound-based thing as well, and musical thing.
Is it possible one of the missing instruments is underwater, like say either in the ocean because it rose so high, or even inside Wano's borders? because of how
absolutely
much
be.
it flooded during the time.
Could absolutely be. Yeah, I keep trying to think. Like, there's got to be something. Poseidon controlling the Sea Kings, and the Sea Kings are sensitive to sound and communication. It might be a frequency alert. There's something there with it being a frequency alert or a navigational system or part of the system that actually turns it into a weapon. Oh, even I like my mouth better now.
That's the
I like
closed
my
mouth.
little. I like my.
Keeping close
When you talk,
helps.
it'll look like this.
Oh my God, it would make the long-armed music guy way more relevant. Would Apu?
Or at least the previous user of his devil fruit.
Which would make
Drawk
happy. He loves them.
Carly's back. I can say the thing now. You guys ready for other evidence I have that I believe the giants were part of the ancient kingdom? The Lunarian.
Wait, Carly is back. Do you want Carly back here while you say this?
Yeah, because Carly was off to read the new chapter, right?
Oh no, I don't think Carly was hiding themselves.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought Carly was off to read the new chapter.
Carly, you're not reading the chapter right now, are you?
It's not the biggest spoiler for the new chapter, but it's not a spoiler.
Did you see that Carly caught up to this entire thing in like
25
what did
days,
they say?
It was crazy.
25 days or 24 days?
That's crazy. Have you heard of such a thing?
It's wild is what that is. Damn. We're out here being like, we did a stream in a year. We're so fast. Okay. Carly, guard yourself because Drawk is about to lay down some new shit.
Okay. In the newest chapter, we see the Straw Hats ride up a rainbow that has been made physical and tangible by a special prism that they have on this island, right?
Yeah.
We've also seen, I believe, the Lunarian technology being used to make the clouds that are tangible that were also made by some of the dials. Now, hear me out on this. Where do we see tangible light constructs in the series?
Tangible. Why are you calling them tangible light constructs?
Because
but yes,
Vegapunk built the ability to interact with holograms based off of technology.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Kingdom.
Ah.
Oh.
See?
Yeah. Oh, look at you, Drawk, with your brain on.
Yep, that's a way to put a thing. But yeah, I think that Vegapunk was building it off of the same technology that the Giants are using, which is technology from the Ancient Kingdom that the Giants are using.
That's really cool.
I bet the only Giants who are using that technology, though, are the royal class up in heaven.
Perhaps. Still, we've seen it, and I think it's real.
I'm liking it.
Oh, Giant Jack was already up on Skypiea before half of Jaya was sent up there. It's how it got stuck in the first place.
Yeah.
Paladin.
Giant Jack just happened to be up there. Dorian broke.
Yeah, most likely
it's probably people in the middle.
It's been up there as a sprout and grew like crazy.
So I think this is more evidence to my liking that we see remnants of the technology of the Ancient Kingdom seem like weird parts of the natural world in this setting.
I wonder if the Ancient Kingdom had anything to do with creating log poses.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I think it would definitely be there.
Yeah, I feel like the magnetism on the Grand Line was probably their doing, all told.
I think that the log poses are definitely Ancient Kingdom technology. It's really strange to think about looking back in time to Joy Boy and realizing that Joy Boy was living in a world that was far more technologically advanced than the world we're looking at, and yet he's so far back.
Also a much faster world because the sea level hadn't risen when he first set sail.
Yeah, a much more connected world. Okay, because we're here, I want to do some dimension pop-off, dimension piece pop-off. So we can just... Yeah, we're here. You didn't know that we're here?
Fuck, where's he here? Where am I? Who are you?
And I also want to put out that I'm getting a washer and dryer because my washing machine put 100 liters of water all over the floor out of the top.
Man, I'm so excited.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's really exciting.
It is really exciting. The best part is when the washing machine floods your house. I don't know how many gallons that is so that somebody could understand it, but imagine it to be around 30 gallons of water all over my home out of the washing machine. Probably 25. Okay, here we go.
Can we
bump it bum bum bum?
I just want to reference something. I just want to reference something before we move on, because you mentioned like that Shanks barely is in the series, and it's true. But can we talk about how crazy it is that like every time Shanks shows up, he's just ending a career?
Oh my god, I said it was 25 first of all, and then Pantless looked it up and it's 26. So like holler for my amazing ability. And second of all, you are not wrong. That is very true. We see Shanks almost effing, arfing, fucking never. Yep. Never.
Yep.
And then he shows up and he's like, oh, hey, it's me, Shanks. I'm about to drop some truth bombs on the world. And you're like, oh my God, what's going to change
because Streamlabs hates me. I'm so loud on every other app. Craigbot files, I'm loud. And yet on Streamlabs, I'm quiet. I don't know what happens. Oh, speaking of, I forgot Craig.
They think you're quiet because for me, you're insanely
I don't know
loud.
why. It's just as one app that thinks I'm quiet. I'm going to bring in Craig. I've used OBS before. I just don't like it as much. And it thinks I'm loud. So it's just Streamlabs doesn't like my audio.
You're so loud, I thought about turning you down.
We're going to bring Craig in case someone wants to edit it. It'll be better for the second half.
I did. Oh, hi, Craig Bot. Welcome.
Craig. I don't know if this will be on YouTube, but if it is, it'll probably just be a short to talk about Kaito's theory. But I just want to get our ideas out there. I want to work on them.
Okay. I just want to work on them because I talk about Dimension Piece, and so I want to go through some of the different things I'm thinking. Some of them are dirty still, some of them are clean, some of them are working, some of them are broken on the side of the road and smoking. And I don't give a shit. I love them all. All right, here we go. So I think the Dimension Piece could be a connection between all the different dimensions. Obviously, that when you go into the parallel dimensions, whether you're going through mirror, whether you're going through door, it doesn't matter where the shit you're going through, that all dimensions go into the same place, but they're just kind of like blocked from each other. Pardon?
Oh, there you are.
That they're just kind of blocked from each other.
You cut out for
they
a
all
second,
go into Okay, but they're all going into the same place. So it's again. Like, what the shit? Can you hear me now? Can you?
Yep, you're here. Don't worry. Yep.
Are you just saying things just to be a turkey?
No, you aren't. You didn't cut out that time.
Oh, okay.
So dude, what do you want from me? What am I supposed to do?
Being less of a turkey. So I think that when you go through these dimensions, that they are all maybe even layered is the word for it. So that like you're in the same place, but you don't know how to move between the dimensions. So you can't, unless you know dimensional movement and unless you can connect the dimensions together or like tying them together or stringing them together, I guess, because it's a string theory, then you couldn't move through them. But if you were somebody like Shanks, who had the access and you knew where the dimensions were and how to move through them, then you could almost sew or string the dimensions back together. And so I think, that's what's going on is Oda was like, I will stop her from having any words. And so he is like the wind walker of dimensions. He's the string walker. So when people started to talk about like the other string theories about how we can keep so much power in the strings, I started to think to myself, like, what might Shanks have access to hidden in dimensions that he has found over the years? And how is he going to use them and put them into the right hands in order to make the right side of history win this time in a war that people didn't know they were continuing to fight? And so that is just a popping off in a random direction of some things that I thought might be so cool if Dimension Piece exists and if Shanks has the ability. And then it ties Laftel to Eni's lobby because it's perpetual daylight, mysterious bottomless pit,
Yeah, the
blah,
mysterious
blah, blah.
bottomless pit is dimensionally displaced instead of just evaporated, which
Exactly.
explains why water can't fill it. It explains why sea levels rose instead of sank, because now the ocean just can't go in this space. This piece of space
Yes.
has been blocked off in another
So it
dimension.
actually takes away space from the world that they're in,
Yep.
and that's why the water goes up and doesn't go down. Because if that was a hole that the water was going inside of, well, in that case, then it would actually shrink the level of the ocean, not increase the level of the ocean. So it doesn't make sense that when you take away an island, you think there would be more room for the water to go down. So therefore, or spread out. So therefore, the water would go down, the displacement theory. But instead, it goes up, which makes you wonder whether or not the displacement is around dimension. And then we saw that happen with the new thing, and I was like, ah, ha, ha. Yes.
She was like, ah, ha, ha. We were all there. We remember it.
Mhm.
Okay. And then I think that's the same thing that can attach to Laugh-Tale. Like maybe there's something going on there so that it sits outside in another dimension and you have to gain access to it in a unique way. And I really hope so, because that would make me so happy. And then that would mean that the One Piece treasure exists in another dimension that not everybody can get to. But if you meet the right criteria, and maybe part of that right criteria is this stupid straw hat that acts like a key now. Maybe that's part of the piece. So I just keep
I
thinking,
love
like,
how
we burn
One Piece theories make everyone sound like a lunatic. Like you just said, maybe it's the stupid straw hat that acts like a key now. Now, are you wrong? Not necessarily. Who's to say? We don't know anything. However, you just claimed that a hat is a key. That did happen, and
It
we can't.
It almost feels like a fingerprint, if you know what I mean. Like, why did Emu keep the other hat? Why does that hat there? What does that hat gain access to? And what does this hat gain access to? And Roger had this hat before and clearly left it to Shanks and probably thought Shanks was going to give it to Ace eventually. And the hat is being passed down in a way that it feels like a freaking key. Who gave it to Roger? That's the question that we need to find out, is who gave Roger that hat? Because if you think about the messages that are hidden within weaving, and the way that weaving has had such a hold on society, and then the beautiful moment of Ace weaving the hat for oars, and how they've brought this theme back in, it is more than possible that that could be some sort of a thing that's going to help us get into that dimensional space.
Yeah, but Mama, Roger didn't have the hat on his ship when he went to Laugh-Tale. Buggy was sick, and Shanks stayed behind with him on another island while
And
Roger's
Roger
crew went
wasn't
to the
able to do
island.
what he had to do. Roger wasn't able to do what he had to.
Roger didn't finish the job. That's what I was about to say. So I'm like, okay,
So,
did he
Mama,
need the hat?
did you know back when people thought the island was called Raftel, they thought the island was submerged underwater and would only float up like a raft when the person came?
You could see that. The only reason I knew it was Laugh-Tale is because 100%, if Rogue Town is actually Logue Town, then Raftel is actually Laugh-Tale or Laugh-Tale.
I just thought of the way it would be a key, which isn't a secret cipher or whatever. We've seen it be like rewoven and broken, and that's not like disruptive to what it is.
Right. We've had it sewn back up in an interesting way.
The way it would have to be a key is that it would act like the rope. It would act as something that Haki was put into.
Yeah, and that it unleashes it. Because you wonder, was it possible that, was it just because they were there too early and you needed the people to move to the future and and that there's some sort of future guiding sense, and that's why the hat wasn't with him and he left it behind and told him, give this to my son one day, or what? Who gave it to him and what difference does it make? Because we have the great big hat inside of the cold room being stored by Emu, there's more to it.
Yeah, the hat on top of the coffin.
Yeah. So there's more to it. Plus, they are called the Straw Hat Pirates and Straw Hat Luffy, so there's more to it.
Which does feel weird that stuck when you could have gone with Rubber Man Luffy.
Or later, Sun God Luffy.
Sun God Luffy, Rubber Man Luffy. Like, there's a lot of options. Like, if red hair is enough to distract from a straw hat.
Exactly. Red hair Shanks. But Straw Hat Luffy? Come on. So then the other thing that made me wonder is, how do you get rid? You don't just drown it, because we would see all of it. So yeah, you want to drown it and you want to keep people away from the fishermen and have people not going underwater, because there's a bunch of shit down there you don't want them to see from the missing time. But also, where is all the rest of the shit? There's got to be more stuff coming out from the Void Century. So one of the fastest ways to get rid of it would either be to chuck it into the void if you were the bad guys and that's how you were doing it, or to hide it in the void in a dimension piece. And one of the reasons then it could be called the Void Century is you created a void within the world when you sent it over.
Sorry, say that again?
One of the reasons it could be called the Void Century is because you took all these treasures, these technologies, these items, and you put them in the void, the dimension, at the war to save them and keep them safe. So it's a Void Century because there is literally a void of history and items and people missing.
Maybe even snakes.
Maybe
Yeah.
even.
So that is one of the things that I started to think in there. Oh yeah. So if you think about all the different amazing devil fruit we have that connect into different dimensions, like the
No,
door
Paladin, they just
manor.
burned the books.
The what?
Paladin said they also had history books, but I'm like, no, they just burned them.
And they only
That's
had
true.
some, and they're few and far between. Like, imagine how much would be missing from this world if we went to war right now and we were trying to hide shit like nuclear bombs, blah, 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 and stick stuff away, and we had access to a dimension that we would be like, okay, like, how do we get all this shit inside of there? And then there would be a void left in the world, a void left in our history, a void left in the way that we told things, because we literally stuck them in the void/dimension. Trying to keep
We
them
have
safe.
seen the world government hide stuff instead of destroy it so that they can preserve it for their own use.
Exactly. And then you've got like, go ahead.
I just wonder if that giant creature we saw in the fog at the end of Thriller Bark connects to the Void Century in any way.
Which one?
I feel like that was
When they were
just.
Hey, I'm trying to remember which one before you pop off.
When they were leaving Thriller Bark, the narrator came on mentioning how countless ships were vanishing in the mist even before the island entered the triangle, and then through the fog you see this giant silhouette.
Right.
I just wonder if that
Somebody
giant
mentioned that
monster
earlier too. Somebody was talking about the Florian Triangle monster. Yeah.
It needs
It was
explanation.
probably Paladin, and we probably ignored Paladin, and Paladin cried.
We all know
Sorry,
that
Paladin.
it's likely to happen.
Sorry, Paladin, for the crying. I blame
Drawk.
It's
Sorry,
also
she'll
weird we
do it
don't
again.
see more islands from the calm belts. I'm sure those must have something on them. After all, they're the hardest islands on the sea to reach.
Yeah. I was just also thinking about the empty throne too of Emu, the ruler unseen, or the rule unseen, could relate to the dimension piece. Like, Emu operates from within the dimensions, sits on the throne from within the dimensions. It's not actually empty. Influencing without being seen.
I mean, Emu had the power to kill Saturn from a quarter of a planet away, so.
Yeah, you just gotta wonder, like, is Emu in the? Is Emu
But that was
able to operate
specifically
within
someone
dimension?
sworn to him. Maybe Emu can't do that with everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. But you gotta wonder, just like, is it actually empty, or is he sitting in it dimensionally? Just as an
Why
idea.
does Emu care about Vivi? Because Vivi is not only a D, but looks a lot like her ancestor, Lily.
It's classic vampire shit. You know how often vampires are like, man, this person looks like the person I used to be in love with. Now I'm obsessed with them. And the person in the modern era is like, this is like incredibly, the vibes are off. You can't be, this isn't okay. Like, we have to acknowledge
Also
how
kind
this
of
isn't
a
okay.
serial killer mentality, like how serial killers go after the same type of people because they have a certain trait or look.
Creepy as ass. I've decided that in my if I'm thinking about
Kaitou, I have
the
to check.
void thing.
Kaitou, you're white, right? So I can make the joke about you mentioning serial killers.
No problem.
Okay.
I
Cool.
actually like studying serial killers are fun.
Oh, okay. I mean, then that extra fits, but
Good God. Okay. I think my most likely why the dimension is there is
I'm sorry. I
because
thought it was funny. People aren't okay. I'm sorry. I apologize.
red flag is because the
I
great
took a
king.
forensic science class in high school. We had to actually give reports about a serial killer. It was really fun to learn about
Was your
and just
teacher a
learn
white
about
woman?
science. Yes, she was raised by a cop.
Okay, well,
I am moving on.
you can move on.
I think that the dimension was created by the Great Kingdom to protect its knowledge and treasures from the 20 kingdoms that became the world
Wait,
government.
what great kingdom?
I think
What are we talking about?
I think the 20 kingdoms that became the world government. You know, the kingdoms, there was 20 of them. They came together and they became the world government.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I think
I
Alabaster,
remember.
I
Dressrosa being
think
two of
that
them.
the reason that the void and dimension was created and that they call it the void on this side or the void century, but it's really a dimension century, is because I think that the Great Kingdom wanted to protect its knowledge and its treasures, and it created the void in order to and use the poneglyphs as keys to access and navigate to it.
You keep calling them friends the poneglyphs.
I call them the poneglyphs. And then
you've
I think
seen
that
the lack of a T in this word,
can I
right?
finish this theory before the end of time, and then you can
all right,
be
you go.
cranky?
Then I'll tell you, my guy, there's no T. Keep going.
Yeah, my dude, I'm not a guy. You wouldn't be here. So I think that the poneglyphs serve as a key to access and navigate the dimensions, and I think that Shanks already knows how to do that. Whether he knows how to get to where Laughtail is, or whether he wants to, and he's like, I don't want to, because here's what I'm doing and here's what I know. And so I think that the Celestial Dragons may be aware of it. I also think that our main man Flamingo is aware of the dimensions. And
I don't think he is. I disagree. I think the secret
I don't think he can access them. I just think he knows about their existence.
I know you brought it up because of him mentioning he knows the secret. I don't think he knows about that.
Yeah.
I think the secret is just Emu. I think that's the secret he knows about.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
And that would be enough. But
Mm-hmm.
and then I think that in the end, every single member of the Straw Hat crew is going to have a specific thing that they need in order to align and to be able to go into the dimensions to retrieve treasure at Laughtail.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be in like a prophecy way. I think it'll be like they'll all need their individual skills.
Exactly. It's going to be in a goofy kind of way, but it's going to be like just kind of prophetically adjacent. And the last thing I think about that is that the Nika Nika powers have a hidden connection to the dimensions that allows Luffy to break barriers to access. And I think we're going to see that at the end.
It does give Luffy to enforce.
Yeah. I think that he's going to have, he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to have some sort of dimensional navigation or dimensional breakage in my universe. So that's so far what I have in Dimension Piece Land. Dimension!
Oda did choose what questions to answer, and he specifically mentioned that devil fruits are limited by imagination, and he's mentioned in a recent Q&A, he chose this question to be one of the 10 he would answer, where Luffy gets the items he seems to pull out of nowhere and says they come from his fantasy world. What if that is the dimension being accessed to create things, to summon magma, to summon strings, is a dimension of dreams, of a dimension of possibility.
Paladin just
that
said
is how he pulls goggles out of his
It's like an Acme black hole. And you're right, giant hammers, giant this. That he doesn't even know he's doing it, but he's accessing a dimension and already breaking that dimension. Damn. Yes.
Well, he already has been, like, Oda said that in an interview, but like,
yeah, that is just so much more evidence for Dimension Piece. Dimension Piece. I wish I had my microphones with me. I have special microphones that then let me go, Dimension Piece, piece. I use it in class, like a normal teacher.
You mentioning the 20 kingdoms did make me think of something.
I can install a mic filter for you if you want that option.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe the islands themselves of the 20 kingdoms could be on ley lines that are significant to the dimension. That's why
I would
those
agree.
particular 20 kingdoms fought,
I would
because they knew they
absolutely
had a
agree.
connection.
And I would be here for that all day long.
And these ley
Awesome.
lines could also probably be used as express travel throughout the world, meaning all Shanks needs to do to get to a certain place quickly is travel to
Between the
which
ley
kingdom
lines.
is closest to where he needs to go.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Yes, Dr. Jack, I have a microphone in class like a normal teacher.
I just realized that there's definitely something to the Minx power up being based off of a full moon when they seem to gain many of the traits of a Lunarian when they transform.
Mm.
I also
You've been obsessed with the Lunarians for a long while. I
no,
hope we
I'm,
get a little
because I think
Lunarian
it's the
hit.
core of it. Because I think it's the core of it. Because I think they are the ancient kingdom. They are the thing that was in charge of the world. We know they were the gods. We know Joy Boy rebelled against them because if they were the gods, who is he a pirate against? Who was in charge when he became a pirate? We know the world government took over after, so they weren't in charge before. This all tells us the
Yeah.
Lunarians were in charge, and they were the ones likely building all this tech. So I think if Dimension Piece is a thing, it has to do with them. It has to come from them and be connected to them in a way. And I'm thinking about how involved Oda was in Film Red, right? And in Film Red,
Yeah.
you've been talking about how you think these songs are important. We see a song be what's used to awaken the weapon, Top Musica, I think is its name. And I just keep thinking
Yeah.
about like there's something to this weapon being stowed in another dimension, being connected to another dimension, being awoken by a song that feels like it ties in. And I'm trying to put that together with the fact that I think Lunarians are involved. But I've also been thinking about the idea that like if the Lunarians invented devil fruits and Zoan fruits are one of the devil fruits they invent, I've been thinking about how I think a lot of the different races in One Piece were created by Lunarians, that they made them for different purposes. And to me, the Minks seem as though they could be a first draft at Zoan fruits.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Or maybe just a permanent Zoan fruit, and they gave them a limitless lightning power instead of a limitless fire power like they gave themselves. Maybe they came later. The Lunarian advancements on their own bodies came later, and that's why their powers are different of power generation. But it feels like the power generation thing is, I don't know. There's consistent traits between all the things the Lunarians have and the things the Minks have. The Mink super form. The Mink super form is activated by looking at the moon, where the Lunarians are from. This thing associated with divinity, and the Minks have an endless power generation, just like the Lunarians do, with their ability to generate lightning.
Yeah, I do. I like that theory.
I don't know what any of this means, though. I can't. It's observations that I can't put together into anything.
I think
Yeah.
I think that we were given a hint, and that's why Oda was so involved in Film Red. Like, I knew I wanted to watch Film Red, but when we watched it, I was like, aha, I think this is like Skypiea and Jaya, that there was so many hints inside of it for what the end game is and about Dimension Piece in this case. Because, like, Film Red showed us, it introduced the concept that you could manipulate alternate realities directly into One Piece. It suggests that like you can create dimensions or you can alter spaces. It also said that there was, it's a separate plane of existence, reinforcing that you can lock things away. Because it says like here you create this and you can lock people's souls away in this space. So that's showing us right away that you could lock away objects, people, or knowledge in a void century inside of Dimension Piece. And then it gave a clue about the nature of the One Piece because it described it as a utopia where people can escape the hardships of reality. And it mirrors like the theme that the One Piece is a better world that the ancient kingdom may have fought to create. So it almost says like there's an alternate reality of awesomeness and perfection for all people that's hidden within the dimensions. And that the One Piece might be the connection of all the world, like we said, the giant party for everyone, which is funny, but that's because the One Piece is literally the Earth is a one piece again. That is a better world for everyone, where elites can't tell you how to live or have so much power. Why'd you make that
So
sound?
basically, with
Just
the
trying to
One
piece
Piece,
it
the
together.
world becomes Pangea again.
Kind of.
So
but more
Pangea
like
and
the
Pangea
one,
Castle was named after the world it used to rule. Pangea
the
Castle
world that
used to be
be
on
there.
top of the world, sure, but Pangea Castle used to rule a connected world, a world that was together.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
the world government took over by binding together, so they sunk the world to stop the next people from taking over, to stop the new rulers from rebelling, because they were able to take over only by uniting, only by being able to unite against the gods, against the Lunarians.
Yeah, exactly. And so then it also proves that idea that like things like the Golden Bell are going to have meaning, because it showed with her song and the accessing other dimensions through music that the Golden Bell and other instruments could act like Uda's singing, serving kind of like a medium or an access to communication with the dimension piece, that it can unlock or activate the pathways through vibration or resonance like her thing did, because in Film Red reinforced the importance of sound vibrations hitting certain kind of like scientific principles that created access to the world she had. So it very much could be like a certain sounds within the world made by very specific instruments could gain you access into this other one piece of world, that there is one piece or one kingdom, one Pangea like place that is a utopia with inside Laugh Tale if you can just use the right keys to access it.
I think I put something together by what I said there. Hear me out on the, I think this is the story pre-Void Century, and I think we're going to find some stuff to complicate this. I don't think this is going to be exactly right. Okay. I think the Lunarians were oppressors who came from the moon. They arrived, they dominated the world, and then they needed subjects to rule. They then modified the life forms of the planet they arrived on. They altered them in whatever ways to fit their journey by taking the base people that were from that reality, the humans, and modifying them. So they made buccaneers to be invincible soldiers and to wield devil fruit somehow, because we know there's been hints that they're better at wielding devil fruit somehow, to have these enhanced souls that have been talked about. The buccaneers were created for that purpose. The minks were created possibly for energy, possibly to scout, whatever. Giants were created for construction and labor, and the basic unaltered humans were the peasant class. And a bunch of humans were able to unite together. Joy Boy's crew and basically hated all the others who'd been given a better lot in life, which is why they were punished afterwards. That retroactive thing of the lesser overthrowing their betters and becoming the oppressor, right? That happens all the time throughout history. Joy Boy
Yeah,
didn't
I
see
bet
the
the
world
third
that way.
eye clan.
Huh?
I was just about to say, I think the third eye clan was probably used for intelligence or being able
Yes.
to memorize certain texts.
And the long arm people were used to be weird.
Well,
So
every court needs to adjust their.
Joy Boy was a human who, unlike the people who rose to take over for the sake of humans, Joy Boy had a crew that was very diverse of everybody. It was all sorts of people on board the Joy Boy Grand Fleet. They were all his friends. It wasn't like that. You know, he wasn't going to be like, yeah, no, I only want a certain type. No. Joy Boy's the good boy.
He's a dog.
Okay. Then at the end, after they overthrow the Lunarians, the human rulers betray Joy Boy after working together because he represents a type of freedom that doesn't allow them to be in charge.
Yeah.
That's my reading. That's what I think the case is. And the humans who took over broke the world so that people couldn't rally against them in the future.
Broke or hid? Like, hid.
You're a little column A, little column B.
Kind of like tucked away. Just where like, let's just tuck this away. Right here. Let's whoop, tucked.
Mm-hmm.
What did we see coming out of, speaking of which then, what did we see coming out of the weapons on the picture with NL? What chapter is that NL picture? We always do this, and I always need access to it. I just need to write that shit
I
down.
always just Google NL cover page story.
Thank you. NL cover page story. I wrote that song.
That's a really good song. The theory will the
Yeah.
Lunarians be the ones who produce the devil fruits? I believe so. I know everyone says it was the humans who did it to overthrow them, but it doesn't feel like it makes as much sense to me when they are the ones who are shown to have all of the power. Like the Lunarians were in charge
They're
of the
holding
world. They were the
spears.
genetic engineers. They made themselves indestructible, right? Like it feels like it makes more sense if the Lunarians created the devil fruits to me, because the humans destroyed technology at the end of this. They weren't the ones in charge.
Yeah. Oh, Mama, I was thinking that since we pretty much decided that Nola's family was the guardian of the Golden Bell, maybe the other significant musical instruments will have guardians animals too.
They better, because
Or
then I'll
could be
be
guardian
mad, and they
animals, or
better
it
be
could be
cute, and
guardian agents.
they better be cute, and they better also be animals. And well, there is, because aren't the kings kind of the guardian and polars of Noah?
Yeah, they also are compelled to obey their king slash queen who's reborn into the mermaid princess, but
I
that's not
wonder
the
if
end
there
of
is
it.
a person who Nola would obey. I wonder if Nola would obey Luffy with who he is now in comparison to who he was then.
I think Nola would obey anyone who'd give him a hug.
Aw, sad.
There's a bunch of One Piece theories saying that Nola is a girl.
They always use male pronouns, it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently in some of them they're using female pronouns. And that I think is relevant to us only because of whether or not they can make more Nolas, not for any other reason at all. Because that part is irrelevant.
They're adorable as babies.
The whole different kind of wings, then, how does that fall into your Lunarian theory? Also,
I
what
just think
about the
those were the
weird
different races that
mutation?
existed on the moon and came down from the sky. That's it.
Oh yeah, the ones with the squarish wings are the Brickens, the ones with the little antennas are the Skypeans, and the leftover ones wearing the most tribal looking clothes are the Champions.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how they were used in the past, is what I'm saying. Like, were they
It is
together?
weird that
Were
they
they
can't
apart?
fly with the wings.
Yep.
Yet this is what I'm saying. Yet the Lunarians can. I think they modified themselves. Maybe they all used to be able to fly and they lost the ability. They took it from others. Hard to say.
Maybe their bones are hollow too.
We need to go back to the dude who died choking on a dumpling, because he's
I'm
got
sorry,
something
what?
going on that he was trying to protect. You know, the dude who made the little robot men with the mustaches that stood there with an L, and he was sitting there and looking at the sky, and then he saw an explosion on the moon and his eyes went bugging out of his head.
Yeah.
And he choked to death and died.
Yeah, I thought the
We-
explosion was coming from the space pirates trying to blow open the moon and find the ancient civilization.
That was NL up on the moon blowing shit open like a bad kid with the space pirates, right? With the space pirates trying to get in. Space pirates clearly came from somewhere else too, and we need to go through what that is, because we did see them beating ship up and taking things apart, and then NL fights them. And there is weird little monstery critters up there too in the space pirates that we have never seen since or before, that just existed in the space pirates, who all had little weird time pressure things on them. I think we need to spend some more time in that, because it was so, not everything is aliens, Frostfire, but it might be. It was so off in comparison to the rest of the story, and we talked about it a bit, but I never spent a long time being like, why do these guys have little, like, I don't know, pressure or heat gauges or clocks or whatever the hell it is inside of their tummies or chests? And why did we see a
Because
bunch
they
of
were
people?
robots.
Yeah, but why do exactly? And then why do we never see them again? Why is that it? Where are they from? Because some of them weren't little robots. Some of them were little, well, not so little, like the blue dude who looks like I'm not gonna say what he looks like, because people
Wow,
get all
okay.
mad at me
People,
because
what? Sorry, what were you about to say? They look like, Mama. What's What's up?
I'm not
up?
gonna say what they
happening?
look like because people get all over my ass about the fact that so many things in here are phallic. That is not my fault. I didn't draw the boobs. I didn't make the penis people. All I do is notice them.
Maybe the space pirates look that way because they're wearing spacesuits, which Oda designed in his own unique way.
No,
Excuse me.
this is a blue dude. It is a blue dude who is pushing on a piece of machinery, and he is not a pirate of space, it looks like, and he doesn't have a pressure thing. He's just a giant happy penis adjacent dude. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't draw it. I'm just noticing it. That's all. I did
The
not draw
space
that.
worm looking guy?
Yes, thank you. The penis adjacent dude. But you know what else I couldn't help but notice, that when you're going into the underground city that floats in the darkness, when NL is up there in Spaceland, it is so similar to the Jaya kind of, or not Jaya, to the Skypiea kind of secret world. So there's an underground city that floats in the darkness up on the moon. And I found the pages that are all done in, and then what does NL say? Let's attack the town for now. Like, okay, weirdo, pop off. And then all the robots come out of the walls. But it looks kind of Skypiea adjacent.
Yeah,
you know what?
no,
You know
you're
what I've
not
decided?
wrong.
You know what I'm going to do this week?
What are you doing? Investigate? Besides read Berserk?
reading all the berserky things.
You're supposed to read Berserk. That is true about this.
I'm gonna
Dive into NL's
go back.
cover story.
I'm gonna go back to the moon. It's time. Also, there are snake-looking things here inside of the picture, the hieroglyphs that look very much like generations of Nola's family.
Oh.
And there are 3 suns. Which makes you, and they're lined up. So there's a number of snakes that line up, and then there's a number of suns, which either says that there is going to have to be a sun god of 3 pieces, 3 different races, or that the 3rd sun god will be the interesting sun god that does the work. So if it was 3 suns, yeah, there's a bunch of questions that come up because of that, because there isn't a single sun, there's 3. And that kind of, to me, draws the question of whether or not we are going to have the 3rd sun be the meaningful sun god, or if there's going to be 3 at the same time, or what?
For the chapter 472 hieroglyphs, people have speculated those depicting the 3 ancient weapons. The fish on the very bottom representing Pluton, the sort of sun in the sky being Uranus, and then the ships, the automata are standing on being Pluton.
That's kind of what I believe, yeah.
But I think the fact that there are 3 suns is meaningful. He could have just made 1.
I think that they are the mother flame. They are the limitless power source they used to have.
Are you talking about the ones that are just suns, just yellow circles?
Yeah, I
those
think
are balloons they wrote down to the.
I feel like those are suns that are the power supply, but you know what? Anything's possible. Could be either of these.
I'm not talking about the sun in the center that is the one big sun. I'm talking about the 3 suns hanging over each of the races.
Oh, Loki did say he's the 3rd sun god. That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I think those are balloons because earlier we see the 4 automata from Earth take balloons to go up. I think those may be sort of balloons to go down.
And they are holding them and they go up, blah, blah, blah. But it also feels representative that like they are controlling, manipulating, or making 3 things. I don't know. I'm going to look at these pages some more and spend some time with them and just make it my friend.
Okay.
Because now that I found the color happy pages and now that I found all these things, I've decided a thing that I hate that I've decided.
Uh-huh.
I'm fascinated by Enel.
Okay.
He is the villain that deserves most to come back.
If he doesn't come back, I'm going to be angry.
It's kind of the villain we need to come back because, like, otherwise, what is the moon?
Yeah, and like, what are all these different races, and who are these pirates who are robots, and why isn't there more information?
He also probably just has the one devil fruit a good chunk of people on the black market are looking for.
That's true.
The space thing. That's definitely not from our scientist. Maybe the white dwarf star used for power source. Could be paladin. Could be. Exactly. He has the drums on his back. Like,
I mean,
I am willing
he
to
is a
bet
Raijin.
that-
That's Raijin shit.
I know, of course it's Raijin, but
Hey,
putting
because
him
my
there,
critters came up, I'm gonna show some Raijin shit because I did a cool design that I want to show off.
putting him there with the drums on his back,
Guys,
though,
guys,
would be
who
a
wants to
really
see?
cool way.
Who wants to see my
I
new
will,
favorite
but
critter?
let me finish my sentence.
Okay.
Putting him there with drums on his back might be a great way of doing that, though. Like an amazing way. Okay, carry on now. The thing of One Piece will never take an inspiration of a single story. Yeah, Three Suns could be crazy. Exactly, sitting. That's the thing. So why not look into it? Time to look into shit.
Okay, so this is my
For
new favorite
fun.
critter for my
when
critter
NL
game.
comes back, he gets the best observation hockey in the whole series.
Look,
I will love it.
I mean,
Will it be
he has the best standard observation hockey in the entire series because he's able to use his devil fruit to extend his body all over the entire island so he can feel everything. He doesn't have like advanced
there's no-
hockey, it feels like, but his basic is so strong and so broad.
There's no way you can
He's
tell
been
me
up
that
to for 2
Nami.
years. He's
There's no
forgotten
way you
shit.
can tell me that Nami doesn't have observation hockey now. Like now that we're this deep in, why she's able to know things
I
about
don't know.
storms while she's still inside the
All I
boat.
can say is it wasn't
Nami has
confirmed, so I
observation.
wasn't gaslighting you. It wasn't confirmed. Anyways, we mentioned Raijin shit, so I just want to bring up this is my favorite critter I've designed for my critter game so far. His name is Maband, and he comes in 5 forms, and he's adorable.
I like him, and I honestly mean, like, out of all of your critters, I think he might be my favorite.
He's very good. Do you have a favorite of the 5 forms of Maband between pipes, brass, percussion, strings, and wind?
Obviously,
Yeah.
my first favorite is one that's like Eno, and
Okay, so
my
percussion.
second favorite is the bagpipe.
Wind is pretty cute too.
He
I like
did
pipe.
pound his drums with his golden staff to make a lightning dragon appear.
He did. That is very, very Raijin of him.
Oh my God. Did I tell you how we need to get back to old theories and start to... I was thinking that you and I should do a dive through shit and say, what are the things that have not been answered yet that we want to make theories on?
I agree.
All the things in One Piece. Be like, okay, what are all the things that have not had any confirmed anything on that we want to make a list of and knock off?
The issue is you do have to work your real human job.
I don't know why you keep talking about my real human job as if I have one.
You have one, and it doesn't involve just going to work. You also have to like grade stuff.
What if I'm lying to you? What if I don't have a real human job?
Look, I agree. I would love to talk One Piece more. However, at this point, I'm torn between it's very rude to do anything One Piece related without you, and you do have to work. You are very sad when you have no life.
I am happy to talk One Piece at any time. I'm not happy to talk anything at any time, but I'm happy to talk about One Piece. Did you just use a hot tub without a Rosanna?
What?
Your father went hot tubbing without me.
Okay.
We have a hot
You
tub
just
that we
revealed
bought off
your
of
real
our
human
neighbor.
name. That's crazy.
I also did a number 1, and we can take it out. All the people who are in here are sweet little squishies who are always here. And then, boop, editors, take it out. Bleep my bleep it. Bleep my name.
Hey, someone just mentioned their favorite critters, so I need to show everyone more of my critters. I love my critters. I'm going to show them anytime I can.
Also,
His name
Drawk,
is-
don't you remember number 1, watched
Yeah.
by a gazillion people? I say my whole name.
That's true. You do say your whole name immediately, and that is our most viewed video. So like everyone knows your name basically if they want to.
Yeah.
We
Carry
got to
on.
do a remix where we dub ourselves over with our new charisma and stage presence and microphones. We just listen to it and recreate all of our lines live.
It'd be hard to recreate some of Mama's rambles.
I love my rambles. They're my favorite part. Except for the sound. Oh,
That'd be such a funny stream to live be listening to ourselves. Anyways, it's the best critter. This is groused.
I mean, I can't see it. Oh, no, it's
Yes.
not the best critter
Look, do you know why his name is groused?
because he's a grouse who jousts.
That's it. You got it in one. You figured out the complex origin of Groust's name.
No, Carly, I have a real name too, but you would have
Look,
seen it if you watched number 1.
Look, I like to think that my critters have a distinct style that isn't just Pokemon, but let me tell you, sometimes it's all right for a critter to have Pokemon vibes, and I love Groust too much to be sad that he looks kind of more Pokemon than most of my guys.
Can you do one more thing before you go back to the awesome mama thing you're building?
Yeah.
And that is show people my thing that I
Yeah,
designed.
you know what? I'll bring up the whole critter lineup so that we can just go take a look at the one you designed quick. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I designed more than one, and I want to
yeah,
point them out.
So Mama designed Misker and Catacrest. I drew them. Mama designed them.
Those two right there.
Their key is our word for type in the game is Skulk and Earth because they're literal mountain lions. So they're made of the mountain itself, and they summon a mist to protect themselves, which is why their key is Skulk. And then Earthsticks is Death and Forest type, and he is the forest creating the shape of a bear to be a guardian for spirits who have nothing to protect them from evil spirits. So it's a house.
I'm very proud of that.
It's a house for good spirits so that they can be carried to see the world and visit their relatives safely.
And then I designed another dude.
Did you? Which other one? Oh yeah. No, wait, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you designed Mar. No, I thought I designed. No, you designed Marid. We did this one together. I feel like I had more input than your other ones, but it definitely did end up very cool.
But I designed him. Yes. He was my idea.
The 8-legged horse of death.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel very good about these designs.
They're very cool. They're some of the best designs in here. My favorite's still Mabond, but if you also you missed this one, you weren't here for this one. I'm just going to show you this one quick. Take a look at Bite and Batasm. These are two of my favorite designs too. I did them recently.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Move back so I can see the other ones for a minute.
All right, I'll zoom out. Then we'll get back to One Piece.
Okay. Boopity doop boop boop.
If you want me to zoom in on one, I will. Let me know.
Move over. Boopity doop boop boop. Didn't I design a person too?
You designed a person.
Yes.
The people aren't in this lineup.
I wanted to see.
All right, we can go look at your person quick before we get back to it.
Thank you.
Drawk has also designed emojis or caricatures of all his mods.
Yeah, all of the mods have an emote. So
this is the one that everyone got pissy about.
The ones that you designed are the big pink elf and the Mountie Knight.
I designed that guy who can take his head on and off and put it on. I got the inspiration from the Mountie Knight from Undead Unluck, didn't I?
I don't think so. You actually designed it before we started reading it.
You kidding me? I just came up with that design before we had read Undead Unluck.
What could be a good Mountie, and Doulahan or a Headless Horseman came up.
That's right. Okay, now go into my girl who is so pretty that people were so pissed off at me for doing, what did they call it?
Someone called it a Mary Sue.
And I was like, you know what? Shh, no one cares. Be quiet. Okay, I'm happy. Thanks for letting me see them.
Cool. Now I'm going to go back to this so that we can begin to work on assembling your PNG tuber. I'm going to have to...
So can you tell me about it being a PNG tuber? Do I get to like press a button and choose a reaction?
That will be how it works, yes. And I'm thinking, from what I understand, I should be able to import whatever I work on in my place at your place pretty easily. I might even be able to guide you to do it.
I can't even imagine. And am I going to be in a little box when we stream together so that I can be reacting like you?
That's my hope. My hope is to set it up potentially even for tomorrow when we talk about Berserk if we're lucky, but I don't think so. It'll probably be the second Berserk stream.
Don't forget that you're wearing a thing tomorrow.
Should you wear it tomorrow? I haven't heard anything about that.
Should you wear it tomorrow or should you wear it on our first party piece?
I think we should wear it on Party Piece because Party Piece is about One Piece.
I agree. Don't wear it tomorrow. It's weird to do it while we talk about Berserk. I talked
a bit. Lav thought maybe we should, but I think it makes more sense.
Listen, I don't want you to taint Luffy with the depression that is Berserk.
Okay. Well,
by the Doulahan, maybe.
I would
noob.
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you talking about?
Noob is saying that it brings back memories. Haven't seen PNG YouTuber in I'm going to be the cutest PNG YouTuber you have ever seen, Noob. You're going to be like, how is it possible? Hey, no, what's her face uses a PNG? What's her face?
Dude, what?
What's her face? Drawk. Who's the person who uses?
What?
Who's the person who uses the PNG tubers all the time that I talk about?
Everybody
who's in
uses
Japan?
PNG tubers.
No, the one that's in Japan.
I'm just bringing in all your little sprites now. You can take a look at them coming into PNG Tuber Plus. This rig is going to be so hard to fucking build.
So you built all these pieces independently, and then you put them together, and it creates a movable movie.
I just need to pick where the joints are going to be, how they connect, how motion works, which ones are like an eye blink, etc. Like all that stuff.
I love that. I love that for me. Iron Mouse.
Yeah, that's a VTuber. That's different. VTuber is basic. It's also a PNG tuber in some ways, but it's like 3,000 layers so that it has a bunch of interstitial tissue so that when it can track your movement and move around without tearing. It's effectively what I did was build something that's about 40 layers total, and Iron Mouse's is 3,000. So that's the comparable complexity.
Shit. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Dr. Jack. Thank you. That's
so imagine
wild.
1,000 times more work than what I'm doing, and that's a VTuber.
That's wild. And she's a cool chick. I like her.
Yeah, from what I understand, very cool.
Yeah. 3,000 pieces. Where did Kaitou go to?
Well, I've been just letting you guys talk about this. Sorry.
No, please don't be sorry. Sometimes you just want to chillax.
Yeah, and my cat's pretty distracting. I can't help but want to pet her.
Yeah. My cat's not distracting. But
Oh, have you guys talked to any other One Piece YouTubers about doing those
We have.
when we go back through collab streams?
Yes, and Anon. Hello, Sister She. Sister She meowed. And a non-One Piece YouTuber who's a person who really likes One Piece and has talked about it and was the very first person who ever mentioned us ever in kind of a larger platform. And I always thought that it was very, very kind of them. And they watch our show. And because we did Undead Unluck, they also decided to watch it. And that's Bettina Levy. You can
turn something temporarily invisible.
in a heartbeat. I make and I love their content, and I think they're a very, very positive person. So I also talked to them and asked them if they would come on, and they were like, "Yeah." And we're talking to a whole bunch of other people. And
That's
now
good.
we're
I'm
gonna.
sure you found it easier to talk to some people after being on the Reverie.
The Reverie was so weird.
Okay.
It was so weird to be on the Reverie. It was like being a brand new knight, and then somebody is like, "We're gonna put you in this giant jousting match with all these other. You're gonna be in this competition," and you'd be like, "What now? Like okay, I just became a knight recently. You don't have any other knights you want to use?"
And they're like, I don't know, should be good, right? Like you like being a knight, right? That's what you're about.
Oh, Sister She, are you a new person to us? I want to read Undead Unluck too, since watching your guys' videos. I also work at you work at a manga store, dude.
You work at a manga store?
But
Undead
also-
Unluck so good, Sister She.
It's so good. I'm really pissed off that we're caught up on that one. I really was ever since we did the one part where she took over. Now I don't know what I can say because other people might want to read it and haven't heard it. But oh no, Sister She says that they've been listening to us. Okay, so as soon as Foucault took over and was like collecting and designing and working, I was like, oh my god, this is good. This is Drawk doing the stuff. Sister She, you missed some theory crafting, and make sure you go into the Discord because oh my god, did you see I blinked, guys?
Yeah, you're gonna blink. That's the thing I can do now.
Yeah, Sister She, if you go into the Discord under the One Piece discussion channel, you'll find a thread where I shared my Nola grandpa theory, which people really like.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
You
I've
can.
been waiting so long to share it.
It was awesome. Okay, what else am I going to do? Is my hair going to move?
At some point. I wish Control Z worked in this application.
Yeah, I will say, Mama, I started thinking of that theory around chapter 1044 when they revealed that not only was Luffy the next Joy Boy, but Joy Boy basically had the Sun God fruit. I kind of was going back over every reference of the Sun God throughout the show, and I was like, wait, they mentioned a Sun God on Skypiea, one of the very best references Oda, well, foreshadowing moments Oda made to the Sun God. Maybe there's more connection there.
Yeah, that's a great one. So what chapter was it in so I can go back inside? 1033?
1044 when Luffy goes for gear 4, like gear
Yes.
5 for the first time. That was the big reveal. So I was just going back through the whole show trying to find all the foreshadowing for the Sun God thing.
I have not been reading Sister She. I have not been reading Witch Hat Atelier as much as I needed to. That is the thing that has suffered, which is really upsetting because it's the thing that that is giving me the most happy vibes and the least depressing vibes. Like Witch Hat Atelier is beautiful and intricate and graceful, and like it brings like a magical feeling inside of you when you're reading it and you're like, oh, it's so cool. And yet it's the thing getting dumped on.
How do I take a look
What
at
is that show they like that isn't the biggest crowd pleaser? I mean, I'm a fan of Detective Conan, which is like longer than One Piece, and the anime is half filler. So
Wow. Dr. Jack said that he said, Mama, it's like you have a new founded country paying the heavenly tribute in order to travel to Pangaea to attend the reverie. That's amazing. It's also funny because we have tribute day. We have tribute day in my classroom. Where
what
all
happened?
the universities show up. Well, a bunch of universities show up, and all the children go and to the universities and they collect all their pens and pencils and other items and they bring them to me as tribute. And then I put them in a big container. And then whenever kids are like, can I borrow a pen? I'm like, yep. And point to the tribute bucket. And that is how I sustain having pens and pencils for an entire year with teenagers. Tribute day. It's become quite fun. We all really look forward to tribute
I
day.
found out how to open the layers, and now I am infinitely powerful. So nobody worry.
Infinitely powerful.
Is there a way to link things without putting them on the same layer? Because if not, I'm fucked.
Thank you, regular guy.
I can't make what I want work. Like it will not be possible.
Luffy literally brings back this.
You can't have things linked without having them together in the layering. No. Or can I?
First time chatter.
It is noob. It's an amazing idea, and if you ever teach, that is what you should do. The universities
awesome.
come.
You can challenge me to draw something
get the
sometimes, but
children to
today
get
I'm rigging it to be a
tribute.
GTuber. So it's a bad
the
time.
best idea.
It's a bad time to challenge me to do something because I am occupied.
I also have tribute from this person who always works with the universities, and she's a teacher, and she's the one who is in contact with them, and she always brings me just cool ass tribute that's separate. There was a student on here earlier. I saw them.
Really? You saw one of your students being a criminal and being where they're not supposed to be?
Being in here, and he will be so glad. He will be so sad that he left because he always wins tribute day. But he is graduating this year, so he can no longer win the tribute day.
Uh-oh. Guys, why is there no Control Z function in this fucking app?
What's Control Z do? Oh, what's going on with my hair? Am I smoking? Is
no,
my head coming
it's
off?
there's no undo. Guys, there's no undo.
Guys,
Oh, no.
look at her. Look at her. She's wild. She's a crazy girl.
There's
A
no way to.
crazy girl.
How do you drag stuff so it's on a different layer, guys? No. Okay. No edit menu. We're in. This is the edit menu.
All right, Drawk. I hate to tell you this.
Yep.
Your time is up. This is how far you got with her today.
Yep. I'm gonna have to get better at using this app. I made all the PNGs, and if I can figure out how to make it work, it will work. But like, Jesus Christ. Can I get the hoodie to blink? I could get the hoodie to blink. That will not accomplish our goal.
Oh my god, the hoodie can blink independently?
Oh, you mean having
I was
the giraffe
thinking
blink?
the ears
No,
could
no, no.
move
The
with your
issue is
emotions.
the giraffe will blink in sync with the eyes. It won't blink
Yeah, I don't care.
independently.
That's amazing. You should also make the giraffe cry because the giraffe is me and I am the giraffe.
It's very funny, and I will do that next time. Today was a productive theory jam, even if towards the end I couldn't be productive because this app is killing me.
You know what? It doesn't matter. It was so good. I had such a great time. Whenever we can get to hang out with Kaitou, who's our original OG, it's awesome. And whenever we get to hang out with our small group of squishies, and we had new people
We had
in
new
our
chatters
small
today.
squishy string, and that's always so cool.
Yeah.
Oh
You
boy,
know, if
guys.
you were
Oh,
going to be
boy.
struggling with an art idea, I actually had a suggestion for a drawing, but you went with this.
I just was hoping I could get it rigged up for Berserk. That did not work out. I just think it'd be cute if she had her little guy for Berserk, but that is not going to work.
Is it because of my cry that I'm going to cry?
No,
and that Berserk is
because
gonna
that I
kill
could
my
add in
soul?
later. The issue. Oh,
Holy
it's 5
criminy!
a.m.? Sister
Sister
that's
She, where
crazy.
the hell in the world are you at 5:27 a.m.?
Oh, man,
Same with
guys.
E Killer? You Denmark. Oh. Oh, Europe buddies. Yes, Dr. Jack, you have European buddies in here. Belgium. I know so many people in Denmark and Belgium. I have so many kids in my school right now from both of those areas. Oh, in Switzerland, along with Dr. Jack.
I'm in
That's amazing.
Ohio.
Have I ever mentioned how much I admire that and feel so grateful that we have people who are coming over here from Europe who are like, oh, it's 100,000 o'clock in the morning. Thought I would just check in with you. How you guys doing? You're like, are you
It's actually
shitting me?
insane. You guys are
It's
crazy.
1:30 a.m. for noob. Ugh. Grand, you were in Japan. What did you bring back? Tell me one thing you brought back. Oh, Drawk, I saw something recently and I want it. You know how I
don't know
usually
where
don't
your
like
irises
want.
went.
Oh, Argentina. I remember. Do you know how I don't usually like want all the little things? There's some little things I want.
Mm-hmm.
And in Norway, I love this for me. Yeah, Grant, you bring anything back with you? Not Ace. That's okay. You can bring other things. I recently saw little boxes of the character things, and you open them, and it's all the One Piece characters sleeping, and they light up. They light up,
Aw.
Drawk. They light up.
That is very cute.
And now I might have to get the little I might have to get the little One Piece sleepy characters who light up because I didn't know this was a thing. You bought back a Sailor Saturn? Oh.
Ooh.
Grand. Ganderelia.
Sailor Jupiter was
I
always
don't know
my
why
favorite.
the eyes turned off. Why did they turn off?
Oh my god, look at me. I'm blind and terrifying.
Why did you turn off eyes?
I hope I have
Or
all the
you're
power
just
now.
being scary, angry like Nami when she gets those white eyes.
Yeah,
and
that
dark
makes more
teeth.
sense, Gandire. All
Well,
right.
I
Drawk,
hope I can figure
need
out
to
how this
leave.
app works. For now, everybody, it's been until that. Fuck, I can't do orders.
Listen to me, Drawk.
Yep.
Drawk.
Yep.
Just 2 seconds.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to thank all of our Patreons for
That's a good
Patreoning.
idea.
You guys kick all the levels of ass. You're the reason that Drawk or / Drac. Is it Drac?
Drac. Yes, I am Drac of the Drac show with Drac's mom.
Is able to do things like he's doing right now. I can't wait for this. Thank you, Patreons. I'm about to be
One day this won't look like this.
PNG. And then I think that if you make me a PNG, I'm going to put secret things on my own YouTube channel that people will be like, oh my God.
You can
Mama
absolutely do your own
Drawk.
YouTube channel with this for sure.
I'm going to put little things on as little reminders and stuff. And then you just kick ass. Also, if you haven't already subscribe. I'm not going to lie to you. We're really cool. Mostly because we're unhinged and everybody likes to listen to unhinged people that they then don't have to hang out with.
That
so you
is
don't have to like
real.
hang out with us in real life being unhinged, but you get to be a part of us being here and being unhinged.
Thank you guys for being here tonight. Sorry if my energy was weird. I have been exhausted.
everyone.
Buying a house is tiring.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Kaitou, for
Kaitou,
being here.
on.
Kaitou.
Your theory was incredible.
It was incredible. And you can send us mail to the address that's on the screen. It'll be right near my creepy ass eyes now that my soul has been sucked from my body.
I have no idea how to fix what's happened. I don't know how this happened. This app is so opaque. I'm hoping I can fix this because the drawing is cute. The results so far in animation are not good. Everybody, thank you for being here.
You got it,
We love you
Drawk.
so much. Oh yeah, someone wanted you to just do a plug. Everybody, subscribe. If this is on YouTube, I don't know if it will. Subscribe.
I just did the subscribe.
Scribble. Yeah, but then someone said -2. They kept counting.
That's okay. And also, press like,
I'm
and
so
then put it,
confused.
It's okay, Drawk. It's okay. He'll be okay. Put a little thing in for Drawk to give him some hope for the future. Oh, I loved it when it had a black background, except
Wait,
for the part where
It's
my
suddenly
eyes were
the
still.
hotkey that wasn't working is suddenly working.
It really scares me a little bit with its open white eyes.
The hotkeys are working suddenly.
Thank you, regular guy. Everyone, I don't have detention because then I have to hang out with kids longer.
The hotkeys weren't working and now they are.
What happened to me? All right,
Don't worry.
Drawk, you need to go.
I do. Everybody,
You're back to
thank
normal,
you
Mom.
so much for being here. Everybody have a great night. We love you all. Let's
Love
pick
you
someone
all.
raid because I
Yes,
meant to do it
Mom.
earlier, but I was too baffled. It turns out the reason the hotkeys weren't working was I had to back out and re-enter and then they worked again. Who knows?
Why don't you send everyone to Paleoraptor?
Sure. How do I spell Paleoraptor?
Capital P-A.
Pally is good.
L-
Oh, they're playing mouth. What? This is a
E-
funny little, they got a little VTuber going on.
Thank you, Dr. Jack.
One day I
Oh,
will
you
be
already
good
knew
enough
how to
at
do
this to
Pally.
make you a VTuber instead of PNG tuber, and it will drive me even more insane. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll draw it and then hire someone else to rig it. I'll make the 1,000 layers and then get someone else to put it together. And until next time.
Wish on squishies.
Sorry, I'm crazy. One day I won't be selling a house and buying a house, and I'll have mind again. It's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much for coming on, Kaitou. You were a kick-ass.
You were great. The theory is so
Oh,
good. I wish I'd read it in more detail, but I'm honestly kind of happy I could be baffled live.